Welcome back to Baby Boy Mulligan's Guitars, Mods, and Music. I'm Tim, and today we're going to do the finale of the Leo Jaymz TLM 2 humbucker, 2-point tremolo Telecaster guitar kit. Today I'm doing the modifications that I didn't get to do at the beginning of the series due to some issues with the kit. I had to order some new parts. So, if you could please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about the video and the series. So, let's get into it, and I'll show you what I've done off camera and what we're going to do on camera. All right, so I've put the new humbuckers in. I haven't completely screwed them down, but I did put the new humbuckers in with the pickup rings. I put this underneath the tremolo so that it wouldn't pop off. And I set this up to drill, you'll see the two black dots, to drill through for the coil splits. On the back side, I've rewired everything and got the wires out of the way. And then I've got my wires to wire up my coil splits. So, let's go work on that. All right, so make sure I got all these back out of the way. And I've put tape on the outside and on the inside of the panel. Here we go. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do with my Dremel, I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it on low. I'm just going to go in these holes. And I'm also going to use my rounded file. This is the one I normally use on my frets, but I'm just going to do that to get rid of the junk in there. Okay, now we got two perfect holes here. On the outside, let's go see what we got on the inside. And we didn't get any tear out, so that's good. I always like to drill from the top because if you do get any tear out, now it's on the inside, not on the front of the guitar. I'm just getting some little pieces out of here. My file. And I'm going to do the same thing with my Dremel. actually using that little bit of the file on the end to get this where I need it to be. So you can see inside, nice and neat. And this side, nice and neat. Now the fun part, actually putting in the coil split themselves. Now, you want to have the on facing that way. In fact, I'm going to tape this down so that I don't have the issue with these pickups scratching the guitar. Once I get the strings set, that's when I'll set these up and make sure they're all lined up good. There you go, Ted. There's the blue tape. Ted talks guitars and life. Loves the blue tape. You gotta have it in the shop. Otherwise, things don't work out right. So, when I wire these, I actually want this side facing the inside of the guitar. So the on facing the inside of the guitar. And this is when it pays to have one of these, because this is painstaking. All right, so I dropped that. I did find it. I got it right over here. What I was doing is I was trying to check the fitment, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to take that off because I don't want to lose it. I'll save that for when I go in. But when you put that in there, see how we have a pretty tight fit? That is a 15/64 drill bit. Works perfect. So I am going to wire those before I put them through because this cavity is fairly deep, and trying to get in there and do all that, we're going to do it ahead of time and make it easy for ourselves. Something I did have to do, the screws on the humbuckers, the screws that go down through it so that you can adjust the height. I did have to cut those a little bit. I used this cutting tool on the Dremel, and I cut the ends of them off, and then at the very end I just took a plier and I twisted it, and then I filed the ends off so that they would fit into that cavity, because the cavity was still too short for those screws, even using the pickup rings. So That's part of the problem that I ran into earlier in the series, and you will see that if you watch the other videos. There's going to be 7 parts to this series because it was a lot of work on this guitar. All right, so I'm going to show you how to solder this real quick. And then we're going to stop the video, and then I'll come back and show you the finished product because it's going to take too long in a video form to do. This video will be an hour long, so we don't want to do that. So these are going to be for my ground wires for each pickup. This is the reason I'm doing this is because I want it to correlate with the neck and the bridge. The neck is yellow, the bridge is red. So the red is going to be the ground wire for the bridge, and then the yellow will be the ground wire for the neck. Just a little bit shorter. There's the best trimmer right there. That's my guy. I never throw out pieces because you never know when you're going to use these when you're doing wiring. Now a little bit more there to go on the pot. The pots are the pains. Okay, so I got my shorter end, my longer end, just a little bit longer. Okay, so how you wire this is, like I said, you've got your on facing this side where it says on. This wire is your ground wire. It goes in here. What I like to do is I like to take that and I loop it back. Then I just have to solder it there. It'll kind of keep it in its place. This is the intricate part of wiring. You need some patience for this. So if you don't have patience, you might want to pay somebody to do it. Because it can be a pain for sure. Okay. Might have to use my helping hand here. This one's being a pain. Okay, that's wired in there now. So now that won't fall out when I'm doing this work. Okay, so we got red. So red is going to be this right here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this apart so I can get my, that's the nice thing about the plug and play. Now I want to move these wires around. It's just real easy. Now my output jack is already plugged back in. I'll just tuck that out of the way. So then my red is going to go through the center. And again, I like to hook that. And I'll use my little helping hands here. And I'll wire this up with the solder. But you guys don't need to see all that. You got the basic gist of it. I'll be back. All right, so we've got everything wired up. I've got everything shielded. And everything is in working order. All we got to do is turn this guy on here. And you're hearing all that extra popping noise because I've got the distortion and stuff on, so it's really, you can hear that. So I'll turn that up just a little bit. Big difference in that coil spread. So everything is working. Now we will put this baby back together. And I'm finally going to take off the plastic. I did get one little mar right there when I was soldering. I hit that with the soldering iron. Just got two. Let's put a second plastic on it. Let's see here. Fight me to the end here. And that's shielded. So this guitar is ready for recording for sure. And even the stage. So now it is a rock and roll machine versus before it was just ready to rock. So there's only one thing left to do. And that is demo this baby. Let's check it out. So these are the similar to Seymour Duncan black winners. And we've got our rings on there so I can raise these up and down so now they fit good. We've got the tremolo working good. Got our toggles, three-way switch, tone and volume, locking tuners, roller string trees. It's got a fret job. And my own custom headstock that you saw me make in the earlier videos. So, let's get it off the table, get it rolling and rocking, twanging and banging. I'll be right back. Okay, so it's the next day, guys. It got kind of late. I was tired last night. I looked at the video footage and I said, you know what? I kind of left some things out. So I want to kind of just go over the whole guitar. So when we started out with this build, the finish, the guitar had some kind of a finish on it, and I wasn't able to stain the guitar, so I had to sand that off. Got a lot of that in the comments, but I had figured that out. So I used the RIT, a blue and a black. Now the colors didn't come out the way I wanted them to, but it came out really cool in a driftwood kind of color, and it's actually kind of silvery too, as you see it kind of shimmer in the light. When I put the oil on the guitar, because I decided to do oil instead of a clear coat, to kind of preserve that driftwood kind of look. Really brought a shine to it. Did the same on the back. You can really see the shimmer and the shine as I move it around. Let's see, I did completely shield the control panel, the pickups, cut out my own headstock, of course, because that's the style of kit it was. Let me slide forward here so you can get a good look. It's got my own logo on there. Roller string trees. Finish on the neck. And again, you see that kind of a shimmery. The video doesn't do it justice. And that's from the oil that I put on the guitar. It's got D'Addario strings. I did a fret job. Light one, nothing big. Didn't need very much. Pickups. I had the stock pickups in it for the first demo. You'll see that in part 6. And of course I didn't like those. It did not come with these pickup rings. I purchased those on Amazon. They were like $6, something like that, $6-8. So I put those in with the new pickups, which are like a Seymour Duncan style pickup, kind of like the Black Winters. I'd say that's what the sound is similar to. The tremolo bridge, I had to put a dead stop in the back. You'll see that in the previous videos, because this was sitting flat. Let me try to get a better view. The tremolo is sitting flat, not really flat, but I mean on an angle like this, sitting on the body on this back edge. So I put a dead stop in there to keep the tuning stability and to keep it from doing that to the body. So that was the issue with the tremolo. I was surprised that the tremolo worked, because this has like a little blade instead of the rounded cutout here on the tremolo. So that ended up working out with the dead stop. The pickups, I had 2 sets of pickups originally, and I ended up having to purchase these because the other pickups would not fit in the guitar because the body cavity wasn't deep enough, and I didn't want to go through all the routing of the body and everything, and take a shot at messing it up. So got that done. Then, because I was able to put these pickups in, I did drill out for the coil splits. So these both have split coil, neck and bridge. The other problem I had was this switch was wired backwards from what the picture showed in the instructions. So I did turn that around. Instead of rewiring it, I just flipped it. The knobs that came with the kit didn't fit on here. They were too tight. I was afraid I was going to bust the potentiometer. So I got a couple of knobs that are exactly the same, but fit the guitar out of my kit that I have all my extra parts from other guitar builds where I've swapped knobs. So that was the major issues with the guitar. Not huge, but for a beginner, this is definitely not a beginner build. I did give a shout out to Leo Jaymz in the videos to, kind of take care of the issues with this build, this guitar kit, because, there's some issues with it. This bridge would have been unusable if I didn't know how to fix it. So, and I could have used the stock pickups. They sounded okay. I didn't love them, but they were good. And they were decent for a beginner. This is an $89 to $110 guitar kit. It's well worth it for the body and the neck alone. So, the guitar is well worth it. It came out great, and I'm very happy with it now. So let's get to the demo. All right, so let's demo this guitar. This is completely clean, and this is the bridge. Bridge, split coil. Middle, both humbuckers. Split coil neck, humbucker. Both split. Neck full, split bridge. Really like that one. Neck, full humbucker. Split coil. let's do some jamming now. Tones on it. My effects. let's see if she's in tune. Well, I think she passed the test. Listen to that sustain. She can bang, she can twang, she can rock, and she can roll. She's doing her thing. I messed that up because I don't want to get a copyright. So, you tell me what you think in the comments. I think she's all I hoped she'd be. And you can get some real Tele sounds out of this too. right, guys. Thanks for watching. Sorry this was such a long one, but I just felt like it had to be. We'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and thank you for watching Baby Boy Mulligan's Guitars, Mods, and Music.